Howdy folks, I'm Haphazard Harp Seal, harmonically harping on hapless harps.
I'm Amber.
And here are more hapless harps for us to harp on. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my girlfriend that I would not be getting a divorce? Throwaway count and fake names because I don't want my roommate to get dishonorably discharged. I'm a 27-year-old male, and I've been with Mia, a 26-year-old female, for 5 years, and things have been getting pretty serious. Coming over to family dinners on holidays, week-long vacations together, sharing Costco memberships, etc. Last night, she was helping me organize my box of random documents, and she came across a copy of my marriage certificate. We're pretty open and know about each other's dating history, so she was reasonably upset at the fact that I never mentioned this before. She brought it to my attention by asking, are there any divorce papers that should go with this? I forgot about this, and I told her this, and that I'm actually still married. And that I had to explain to her that Casey is not actually my wife, but my roommate, who she knows as CJ, a 27-year-old male. Me and CJ are longtime friends, and we wanted to stick together after high school. The problem was that CJ enlisted in the Air Force instead of going to college, so there was no guarantee that he would be stationed in the same state as me after his basic training and technical training courses were done. His brother also had the same dilemma with his girlfriend, but he found out that they will try to keep you in the same state as your spouse. Knowing this, CJ and I immediately got married as soon as I turned 18 in a silly teenage fashion. Mia and I have already had some of the big conversations. We have agreed that we're basically married at this point, and she was the one to add that we don't need to go through the hassle of the paperwork and ceremony, and things are fine as is. We live separately because her mom refuses to be put in an assisted living facility and does not react to any of the live-in nurses that they've had to hire, so Mia's overnights are spent at home until the situation resolves itself, quote unquote. But CJ has agreed to her moving in when the time comes. She was telling me that I should get a divorce because the ploy isn't something that we need to keep up anymore. I told her all that was unnecessary while summarizing the context listed above, and that it would have to be a conversation with CJ. She disagreed on his involvement because we should be able to resolve this now because there is only two voices that matter, the two in the relationship. After Mia and I talked about our living situations last year, CJ and I took out a mortgage on a house and a car loan. I didn't know how a divorce would affect these things and wanted to be able to put in some research because our finances are pretty tight and I don't want to add a divorce on top of that. She left me a text after driving off saying that she needs some time to cool off and that she will be in touch and that I better be ready to pick up on the argument where we left off. All right, folks, what do you think?
I think OP's big mistake is not coming clean much sooner. I understand, like, you don't want to put this on the first date, but as soon as things started getting serious, it was important to let her know that he was legally married. Because now things look ultra sus from her lens. Like, oh, OP is secretly married and has a mortgage and a car loan with his roommate. Like, that doesn't, necessarily scream confidence in her partner putting her first and considering her needs.
So I have a lot to say on this one, right? Because one, when I was in the military, from what I remember, they didn't actually make any effort really to make sure you were in the same state as your spouse. I mean, you got orders and you moved, right? So sometimes I think you always had a top 3 list that you could choose from for where you wanted to go. But in general, there wasn't like a precedent as far as I'm aware, unless there was like some kind of disability or something like that involved, right?
Right, it was
So,
usually that they would move your spouse with you.
yeah. But what I do know is that people did this while they were in the military for fraud purposes because you get housing allowance, you get to live off of base, so you don't have to actually, live in the barracks with the other people. You get food allowances, all kinds of other benefits, right? Your spouse gets insurance. So this feels pretty much like fraud at this point in time. And if OP is using this excuse, it might be to like downplay the fraudulent part of this more than anything, right? So I think that OP is a fraudster and as doing fraudulent things. And if the military were to find out that this was a marriage of convenience like this, then they could get into a lot of trouble. Um, as for whether or not he should have told his partner, yeah, I mean, that's like a 6 months in type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this should have been, oh, by the way, CJ's actually technically my spouse. Hopefully, this isn't something that bothers you. We have no intention of getting divorced anytime soon.
Right, because if this is something that's important to OP, then he needs to be upfront because people are going to have a lot of feelings about this because that means that you can't legally get
Mm-hmm.
married to the partner. Also, now that like, it sounds like because OP's partner was going to stay with her mom, he just immediately went and got a mortgage with CJ. And so, like, now he's tied with a mortgage and a car loan with CJ. So, if her mom were to pass or to find nurses that she liked, now OP can't have a place with her
Mm-hmm.
for the foreseeable future because mortgages are a long term commitment.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of like uh, things here that they should have thought about more, right? And they should have considered their partner in all of these kind of decisions that they made. And even with like the mortgage and stuff like that, they should have talked to their
Mm-hmm.
partner as opposed to like intertwining their finances even deeper, right?
Right. It almost just seems like he is not considering her as a partner, but more or less an add on.
Yeah. So I would say that maybe it's time for her to find a new partner here,
Mm-hmm.
right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Boo Boo Kitty FHK says the military keeping you in the same state as your spouse is absolute BS. I've been a military spouse for almost 20 years, and the military gives absolute no care to what your spouse wants. Spouses that were both enlisted are often given priority, and over 1/3 of the time they live apart. What you are committing is insurance fraud and government benefits fraud. Your spouse gets double the pay and full insurance for you along with additional pay while they're deployed. I guess the title, Am I the Jerk Because I Won't Quit Committing Fraud Even Though My Girlfriend Is Mad About It, doesn't really get many in the way of upvotes. And equivalent to 1 says, You're the jerk, it's been 5 years with Mia. This is a year 1/2 kind of reveal. I can't marry you because I'm already married to my life partner. The fact that you wanted to loop CJ into the conversation is odd. Also, CJ, if this is America, gets extra pay and housing allowance due to being married. You have medical coverage due to being married to an active serving military member. Mia has been planning a future with you, and you've bought a house with your spouse who you're commingling finances with. I do think that this is fake because orders are orders, and I have never known the military to do a sensible thing. Unless you live near a ton of Air Force bases, they will send military members wherever they need. Doesn't matter where their spouse is. I mean, they do bring up one really important point, is that this could actually just not be in the US. I mean, Redditors are worldwide, and I mean, I think it would be hard to know if there was some military branch that tries to keep you in the same,
Mm-hmm.
general location. Though they do say states, but there are a lot of other countries that have states in the same way that the US does. So, like India, for instance. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not inviting my aunt to my wedding because of how she acts with my fiance? I'm a 23-year-old female, and when I was younger, I grew up in a household where most of my family lived together, or at least in the same neighborhood. My aunt, a 56-year-old female, used to live with us for some reason, but as a kid and teenager, I never really had an issue with it. That said, she always acted weird. She would go through my closet, steal my makeup, and constantly try to outdo me, even when I was just a teenager. I always found it odd, like you're a grown adult woman competing with a literal child, but I let it slide because, well, family. Fast forward to now, I'm engaged to my fiance, a 24-year-old male, and when I introduced him to my family, my aunt was all over him. She did the exact same thing with my last boyfriend as well, which made me hesitant to bring my fiance around in the first place. When it came time to send out wedding invites, I decided not to invite her. I just don't want that kind of energy on my big day. But now my entire family is coming at me, calling me jealous of her, and saying that I'm being unfair. My aunt is furious, and everyone is making me feel like I'm the bad guy. So am I the jerk for not inviting her? Alright, folks, what do you think?
No, you do not need to invite your creepy aunt who harasses your partner to your wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the fact that she is doing this sort of behavior, like, I don't know why anyone is dismissing it and calling OP the jealous one. Like, she's not the one, the aunt is not the one, like, who is actually in a relationship with this man, even if she thinks she is or is trying to be.
Well, I think that the aunt may have some stuff going on, right? And maybe it would be a good idea for the family to suggest that she goes into therapy and works on some of these feelings of inadequacy, because it's just not normal for a adult woman to do these kinds of things or to compete with a 15-year-old, right?
Right. Well, it seems like she's trying to reclaim her youth or something
Hmm.
like that, but that's not a normal or healthy way. Like, because, aging isn't easy, especially for women, in our society. But that doesn't give you an excuse to, like, steal your niece's stuff and, like, try and get all her partners.
Well, she's acting more like a jealous sister than
Mm-hmm.
she is an actual like adult, right? And I know that people want to keep the peace, but sometimes if someone in your life is causing someone to be uncomfortable, it's important to put distance between you and that person, right? And again, like she she really just should not be sexually harassing the boyfriend here, the
Mm-hmm.
fiance here. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting a hairdresser appointment without my husband knowing? I'm a 28-year-old and my husband is 30. I'll call him Joe, and have been together for 7 years, married for 3. Joe and I are normally very loving and haven't had any trouble in our relationship until yesterday. For a month, I've been going off about a haircut at the local hairdresser. I've told him several times, but the entire time that he has had his nose in the phone, and this has happened a lot lately. I've asked him if I would fit a bob, or just a shorter hair, or even some color. He would just nod and say, That's your choice, not even looking up from his phone. Well, fast forward to Friday, I booked an appointment at the hairdresser and I told my husband about it. He nodded and said, Good, with his nose in his phone yet again. The problem that we have been having before. The appointment was yesterday, Monday. I get ready to go to the appointment after saying bye to Joe, and Joe says bye, be safe, not asking where I was going. So I figured that he must know since I literally told him on Friday. Anyways, I arrived to the hairdresser and I cut it a bit shorter with some blonde highlights. I love my new hairstyle and I was excited to show it to my husband. When I got home, Joe finally looked up from his phone and got furious when he saw my hair and yelled, Why did you change your hair? How much did that cost? Why didn't you tell me about it? I was at a loss of words, and I calmly said back, But I told you on Friday that my hair appointment was today. I even mentioned it a month back, but you've been so obsessed with your phone that you probably didn't even notice me anymore. I do regret the last thing that I said because he got even more angry. Packed a bag and then left to his mother's. So, did I overreact? Did I go wrong in not telling him more directly? Update. Thanks for all the support. I've been on edge lately after getting comments about Joe cheating. I don't know anymore. Some more info. Joe works at a local hospital. He is usually very busy with work, but always makes time for me and takes me on dates, etc. We don't have any kids, by the way. We have a few mutual friends, mostly males, but nothing to get suspicious over. Other than that, he has very few friends and isn't close with anyone. I also have his password to all of his devices, but never had the suspicions to check it out. As I said, we have always had a loving relationship and nothing to doubt his love for me. I know that he went to his mother's because I have his location and he has been there the entire time. He texted me earlier today and said that he was sorry for the way that he acted and loves my hair, but got confused because I didn't tell him when I had told him a month before, leading up to now. We called for a bit and he understood where I came from and my situation, yet he refused to come home just yet. I'm starting to suspect that he's cheating and will be checking his computer later today. I know that that's invading his privacy, but I need to know. I'll update as soon as I can. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm not English and I have dyslexia. Again, thanks for the support. All right, folks, what do you think?
I don't think Opie did anything wrong. I think that she was very clear, and the fact that her husband wasn't paying attention is on him. And I definitely think there's something more going on with the phone, whether it's cheating or something else. There's some reason why he's investing all his time in the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna have to get to the bottom of that before you can fix what this is about, because it's not about the haircut. I don't think. I think there's something deeper going on, and so that's kind of where things stand.
Yeah, I mean, this could be an affair, but it could also just be that he is kind of like in that flow state where he's watching reels and stuff like that, and this like, or doom scrolling or something like that. But I don't think that that's enough to just eliminate the idea that he might be cheating, right? Because when you're that invested and you're not paying attention to your partner, you're emotionally not even part of the relationship at that point in time, right?
Well, he does seem very checked out. Like he knows all the phrases to say. It's like he's like a robot parroting them.
So I definitely think that he overstepped here, and maybe marriage counseling is in order, but
If you feel like he can be honest with you,
Yeah.
like I mean, I think the first step is to have an open and honest conversation about what is going on with his phone, whether it's cheating or gambling or he's just really into doom scrolling. Like you need to get to the bottom of what's going on and come up with a game plan to change things because as it stands, he is checked out of the marriage.
yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What did the match say to the candle?
The match said to the candle, "I'm gonna light you up."
It's a good one, but you're the light of my life.
Ah.
And today is Valentine's Mass, which is celebrated every year on February 10th. And it's basically like a amalgamation of Christmas and Valentine's Day. Time to spread some like cheer leading up to Valentine's Day. So
Go spread some Valentine's cheer.
enjoy time with your loved ones and yeah, reflect on Christmas and all that kind of stuff if that's your jam.
And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it on committing fraud.
Don't.
Yeah, don't commit fraud. Generally just not a great idea. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.